Hey YouTube, this is NJ4Water5, and what I'm starting to find out is as you get more into the bigger battery packs, the power walls, the higher C ratings, you find yourself needing more and more power for your chargers. I'm sure this ain't a secret. I'm sure everybody probably uses these, but I was looking online and I can't remember the name of the company, but they had a charger for sale and it was all nicely wrapped in vinyl. It had only two wires coming out from the side, and it actually looked like they jumped to the wire, actually looked like they bridged to the connections here, and then they were charging like somewhere around 100 to 125 for the charger. And I was looking at that and I was like, I bet you I could do that cheaper. So of course I did a little bit of research, and I found out that a lot of people like to use the HPBS 750 watt. This ain't your normal one. This is actually one of the newer brands. This is an HSTNS-PL18. And doing a lot of research online, I couldn't find too much information about it, but I found enough to figure out how to get this prepped and ready to be used as a charger. A lot of people were using these with their iSDTs, their iMax B6s. I guess with the power that you can pull from these, they were using 3 or 4 chargers at once, and that was just on a 750 watt. It's 12 volts, 62.5 amps max, and apparently you could turn up the voltage somewhere in here, but I'm not going to mess with that. Most of the chargers I use, they'll take 12.3, 12.6, they'll take whatever. So what I'm going to show, or what I'm going to do right now, is I'm just going to hack this and throw some vinyl wrap around it. I was thinking I might try to throw me a quick plexiglass face around here, but if I throw plexiglass around the face, I can hide any blemishes with the vinyl wrap. Also, I'm going to use 4 banana plug adapters. I don't know if you can see it, but I've already marked out the dots on here. This one's kind of in the way today. I've marked out the little dots I'm gonna drill. Some people I've seen will just solder to this, and then some people I've seen will just drill. These have 1/8 inch nuts on the bottom. 1/8 inch is pretty small. Shouldn't take up too much space on here. The ones they were doing looked like they were way bigger screws than these. It looked like they were using maybe a bigger gauge kind of banana plug of some kind. But I'm just going to use these. These should work perfect. I was going to use the metal ones I normally use on these, but I didn't want to run the risk of any kind of crossing or arcing or anything like that. So I'm going to stick with these on this build. It looked like the people that were bridging these were using a 560 ohm resistor, and they were just bridging it from pin 33 to 36. I also seen another guy online that did some kind of soft start. I might look into that and maybe do a soft start. I'm not really 100% sure how this build's gonna go. After it's done, I plan on it looking good. I mean, it's a simple hack, anybody can do it. I mean, probably 40 bucks in plugs, a 10-cent switch, and I believe these sheets are 2 bucks a piece. For under $25, you've got a $100 charger or $100 power supply that you can use to charge your other chargers. Most of the chargers that I'm using, for example, like this iSDT T8, in order for me to use the max on this, in order for me to be able to discharge or charge 30 amps, and anything like that, it requires having a higher watt or amped power supply. You can get away with using a battery pack, and more than likely the battery pack that I just created to use with that can handle the amps and the watts that I need. But you know, I'd also like some power just in case. You know, I'm sure I'm gonna find other uses for this. So yeah, let's hack a HP 750 watt power supply. Almost forgot to film. What I did is I found a 510 ohm resistor. I soldered it to leg 33 and leg 36. And then I tried to drill the first hole, and I realized that it was going to get stuff inside of the power supply, and you know, you don't want none of that. So I grabbed some masking tape and I masked up the holes on the bottom and the top. That way I can drill these out a little bit easier. So I'm starting off with a small drill and then working myself up to the bigger drill. These only require like a little bit over 1/8 of an inch. So if I go out of camera for a couple of seconds, it's only because I'm drilling the hole and I'm trying to get it a little bit perfect the first time. Looks like I got it right on the hole. See, I measured these with the caliper, and these are just a smidge over 1/8 of an inch, which should be I only use these bits in my detailed kind of scenarios, I guess. So alright, so it ended up being 5/32. Now I don't want to clean out the hole because I want as much copper as possible. Negative first. Well, throw on a little light. I think I have a 12-volt light in here somewhere. Well, there's the electrical part of it. I'm gonna have to go ahead and stop the video now, because the next part we're just gonna wrap this in black vinyl. But I'd like to clean up my area a little before I get started, because I'm horrible at this. I usually have my wife do it, and she's not here to do it right now, so hopefully I can do it as good as her. But I want to wrap this in black vinyl, and I think I'll call that a win. I might, and it's a big might, cut a piece of this thin plexiglass to put around the face of it, just to keep the contacts isolated. Alright, what I did is I cut off camera, because plexiglass is my nemesis. I cut some smaller pieces of plexiglass. This is actually the it's the same kind of plexiglass, the same brand name, but it's for the non-glare photos, or your picture frames. It's to put a non-glare sheet in there. I like to use this sometime on the smaller different builds that I can get away with this, but this is one of them. What I want to do is I'm gonna go ahead and throw a face like this and like this with two sides, and it's gonna kind of wrap into the body a little bit, and when it wraps into the body, it's gonna isolate the bottom from touching anything. And then I'll probably go ahead and maybe throw some maybe some hot glue here, maybe. I'm not 100% sure yet. I think these are fine once I put this on here. So once I put that on there, let's see, plexiglass is my nemesis. Once I put this on there, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this in the black vinyl also, so it looks like it's got a black vinyl face. Then I'm gonna wrap the whole thing in the black vinyl. The only parts I'm really worried about is possibly these and this, but I might just cut around them. I might throw the black vinyl on here and just cut around them. I've seen other videos where they just ripped them off, but I don't see no reason to rip them off. I mean, I could cut them and then pull them off. That might be something I might do. I'll have to go back and look at a couple other videos to see how they're cut, because I'd hate to cut one piece and then have to keep trimming it back. You can tell it kind of feels kind of loose. I bet if I give it a good trim, the whole thing would come right out. I'll have to look into that. But for right now, I'm going to try to build this little piece. But it actually came out pretty decent. I'm okay with it. But I got to looking at it. I plan on it fitting somewhere like this, which should be neat. And then that should be enough to keep the bolts isolated, because I'm gonna end up having to go over this with vinyl wrap, then vinyl wrap this by itself, and then somehow super gluing this. I think super gluing it to the vinyl wrap will be okay. It'll still be removable if I have to, and it should look pretty decent. I found some little feet, and I just kind of eyeballed it, and I super glued them on. I'm holding them in place right now. So I threw all my chargers on here just to see, and so far everything sounds alright. Seems to be working alright. I ain't heard the fan ramp up yet. If I had to guess, I'm pushing it at about 3 amps. Alright guys, the testing went good. It didn't even heat up once. I believe that probably pushed maybe 6 amps out of it at the most. Those chargers didn't perform how I thought they were. I thought they would pull way more amps than they did. Mainly got this to go with the T8 iSDT 1000 watt charger. In order to get the full capabilities out of this charger, you have to have a power supply that matches, and at 1000 watts currently I found the 750 watt, and I only kind of stumbled on it by watching a video online where a guy purchased one from like Hobby King or something like that, and they had the part number on there, and I was like, hey, I could do that. That looks like a pretty simple hack. There's no reason to purchase it from, you know, Hobby King. So I went ahead and I purchased this from eBay. It was 25 bucks, I believe. Shipped. It got to me in a couple days. The hack took a 510 ohm resistor between pin 33 and 36. I drilled 4 holes, put panel mount banana jacks. I made a little face with plexiglass, wrapped it all in vinyl, added a couple feet, and I have a 750 watt power supply that pushes out 64 amps at 12 volts. I mean, that is powerful. I mean, this thing is not even the size of a dollar. I mean, you can tell by looking at the squares on my desk. This thing is probably 7 inches, maybe 8 inches. And it weighs almost nothing. But, yeah, this is easy. Anybody could do this. Anybody with, the only soldering I took was the resistor, and that was bare. I just dabbed it on there. The total hack probably took me maybe an hour total. It just seemed like a long time because I broke it up. But yeah, I mean, you can't really beat that. 25 bucks and you've got yourself a $100 charger. I think you could pick these up, put together like this with a nice printed face for like around 60-70 bucks. But that guy, the guy that sells those, actually makes them himself. He's not a company or anything like that. But if you purchase them from a company, you're looking upwards of 100 to 200 bucks. Looks like the only thing I need to do is find myself some stickers. Maybe an NJ4 wider sticker with a YouTube label or something like that. I don't know. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I will catch you on my next video.